Good morning. Today's topic, the first topic will be the life of attendance. First of all, be the Messiah. How do we understand the Messiah? That is also very important. As you know, God has original Son and original Hyun-son. This means like God's mind and body. Of course, like mind and body. It's of course this original Hyun-son. It's also invisible. Of course, invisible. And original Son also has its own attributes, the positive aspect and negative aspect. But negative does not necessarily mean so-called negative, you know. A more active and rather active and receiving or giving or receiving, or active or passive. This plus and minus this way, and also original Hyun-son also has attributes of positivity and negativity. It's a way of it is a way of manifestation. Then this positive manifestation of original Son and positive manifestation of original Hyun-son become one. This is God's masculinity. God's masculinity. In other words, masculine God, and this passive or minus or passive manifestation of God's original Son, and passive minus or passive manifestation of God's original Hyun-son become one. This is God's femininity. In other words, this is a masculine God and a feminine God in one sense. In other words, this is God. In other words, inside God, there is like a man, invisible man, and invisible woman. This masculine God is like a invisible man, invisible perfect man, and invisible perfect woman. And God is one. Therefore, this God's masculinity and God's femininity must be one inside God. Therefore, when God faces us, she appears like an invisible man and woman. And since relationship with, between God and man is a parent and children relationship, therefore God appears before us as father and mother, dad and mom, parents. This is how God faces us. Then, but since God is invisible, then when God's masculinity is substantiated as a human being, it was Adam. Adam, the Son of God. The Son of God. And when God's femininity is substantiated as a human, it was Eve, a substantial living woman. Therefore, actually, Adam was supposed to be the living God. Adam and Eve were supposed to be the living God, the God in the flesh. But unfortunately, and also, of course, and they are supposed to get married, and supposed to have children, and they're supposed to be the parents, visible parents, which means true parents. But unfortunately, through the fall, Eve was lost, and Adam was lost. Therefore, especially when Adam was lost, there's no possibility to fulfill God's will on this earth. If just for a man was limited to Eve, it would have been possible, could have been possible that for Adam to become a true Adam and to save Eve back to God. Then there would have been no necessity of the coming of the Messiah. But since Adam was lost, there's no way for God to fulfill his will without sending a new Adam. This is the reason Jesus came as the second Adam. Jesus came as the second Adam. And also Jesus is supposed to be given his bride. By doing so, Jesus and bride became one and supposed to be the true parents of mankind, through whom the blessing is supposed to be given to the fallen world. And original sin was supposed to be solved. This was supposed to be the mission of Jesus in true sense. But unfortunately, on the way of fulfillment of his mission, Jesus was crucified. Jesus was crucified, and the bride never came. That's very serious background of this story. Therefore, eventually, God himself could not reveal himself in the flesh on this earth planet. Therefore, it was impossible for God to have substantial dominion over this world. Therefore, this is the reason why the new Adam must come one more time, at the third Adam, which is the Lord's second coming, our true Father. And now, also representing the God's femininity, the bride, true mother, came. Bride appeared. Then this way, now when the holy matrimony was fulfilled at 1960. And true father and true mother became the bridegroom and bride. And by having children directly, now they became the position, they assumed the position of true parents, became true parents. True parents. Of course, to the direct lineage, but also to us, the blessed families. The father became the true parents to their own true children, also to us. If when true father and true mother became one, then actually true parents is in the position of the living God. Actually, if the only when Jesus came, Jesus mentioned in the book of John that he who has seen me has seen the Father. He who has seen me has seen the Father. This means God revealed himself through Jesus. Therefore, if you see Jesus, you can see God. That's what Jesus meant. But as I mentioned already a couple of days ago, Jesus was only 50% manifestation of entire God. Therefore, only when true mother came and united into one, now they are the 100% manifestation of the nature of God. Therefore, in this sense, true parents, or we can say Messiah. Sometimes we say, when we say Messiah, sometimes means just true father, sometimes. And sometimes we mean both, father and mother. In this sense, true parents are the visible God. Through whom God is able to reveal himself 100%. Therefore, if you see true parents, you are seeing God. When we see God, true parents, actually we are seeing God. Therefore, in this sense, this is the Messiah is an answer to the question, what is God? In the past, the man has been looking for God long time. What is God? What God's? What is God's like? Be like? What God's is like? That has been the long cherished question. And the man has been looking for God so many centuries and even millenniums. Through philosophy or religions or science. But only, logically or philosophically. But now true parents are the living answer to the question, what is God? Therefore, by seeing true parents, you can understand, you can get the answer to the question, what is God? Therefore, his way of, by watching, by observing his way of life, we can understand God's way of life. What kind of food does God like? Kimchi or potato? Russian potato. And God's way of speaking and God's way of dealing with a situation. By watching God, the true parents, you can understand the real God. In the substantial way, you can see God, God's way of life. Therefore, by watching his way of life, you can understand the nature of God. Therefore, his way of loving, his way of sacrificing himself for the sake of others, then we can understand, God must be like that. Even God is invisible. God is so sacrificial that he doesn't change. When the Father doesn't change at all, when you find out the fact that Father doesn't change at all, so persistent, then you understand, this is how God is unchanging. This way, by seeing true parents, you can understand what is God? What is God be like? What God be like? What God is like? What God is like? You can understand. And also, as you know, in this sense, true father, true mother is now totally one with God. Therefore, in that sense, they are the perfected human being. Perfected human being. Therefore, true father is a perfected man, true mother is a perfected woman. Therefore, this is also answered. This is a one answer to the question, what is God? Answer, but just not simple answer, living answer. Living answer to the question, what is God? What is God? But next will be the also same living answer to the question, what is man? What is man? As we discussed a couple of times, man has been looking for the answer to the question, what is man? Because man is man, but man is lost. Therefore, even billions of human beings are living on this earth, but not one has been the true or inherited the fallen lineage. Most of us didn't have anything to do with God. Therefore, we are not true man yet. This is the reason we have been looking for true man. But now finally, answer came to the question, what is man? Yes, in this sense, true parents are the living answer to the question, what is man? Man has been looking for the answer to the question, what is man, through philosophy, or through religion, or through all kinds of ways. Only logically, or philosophically, or religiously. But they couldn't see the real man, only idea. But finally, we got the answer to the question, what is man, in such a substantial way. Therefore, if you see the life of true parents, we can understand how should we live. In this sense, the Messiah is a living answer to the question, what is God and what is man? This is the reason the Father always says, you should study furthermore. You should investigate, or you should understand furthermore. Then you'll understand God. Then you'll understand man. Therefore, inside true parents, God and man is totally one. When father and mother together fulfill the purpose of creation, it is a fulfillment of God's will. This means the purpose of man and the purpose of God is one in true parents. By seeing these facts, we'll have clear understanding that purpose of man and the purpose of God is exactly the same. Therefore, when the purpose of man is fulfilled, it's a fulfillment of purpose of God. That's why that moment, God and man can be totally one with joy. If the purpose of God and the purpose of God's purpose and the man's purpose is different. Man is going that direction, God is going that direction. Then when God's will is fulfilled, man will become miserable. And when man's will, man's desire is fulfilled, God will be miserable, tragic. But it's great. There's no discrepancy between God's purpose and man's purpose. Man's purpose is exactly God's purpose. God's purpose is exactly man's purpose. It's a fulfillment of the purpose of creation. It is the fulfillment of the three blessings. Also, it's the fulfillment of the kingship. Or royal familyship. Eventually, kingdom heaven on earth and in the spirit world. So, then actually, just maybe it may be good to add some, kind of testimonies. It's a long time ago. True Father came to my country, to Japan, 1965 first time. But 67, as I think I mentioned a little bit, but he came to Japan one more time together with True Mother. And that time, True Mother, that time, True Mother was only 25 years old. And so shy, so naive. I see Russian sisters are pretty naive. Might be strong inside, but naive. Even more naive. I couldn't say anything. And Father wanted to introduce Mother. But anyway, Mother came on the stage. But Mother couldn't say anything. Then just hesitating. Then Father came and just whispered. Then Mother smiled the first time and spoke a little bit and disappeared. That time when Father came, the impression of Father was so powerful. So powerful. But when Father was whispering to Mother's ear, how beautiful it was. It's a totally different feeling when Father was with Mother at that time. Then we felt only when Father and Mother became one, that time we saw the living God right there. How beautiful it was. We felt God was right there. And since It was so impressive. No, actually, even now, I cannot forget that scene. Therefore, only when father, mother become one, that moment we can see the living God in true sense. In true sense. Then here comes the next topic. Next topic 2, the substantial contents of the attendance. In the Old Testament age, there's only commandment, laws, Mosaic laws, or other laws. There's no visual example of life. Respect the parents, you shall not kill, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, and so on. Then you shall not, you shall not, you shall not, you shall not. It's not so exciting. Is it so excited? You shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that. Is it exciting? Not so exciting. And also, there was also Moses was great, or some other prophet might have been great, but nevertheless, no substantial living example of God. Therefore, it was so difficult to really understand the true way of life, to understand God's way of life, to become like God. But in the New Testament age, Jesus appeared, and the living example appeared. Living example of God. Therefore, it was so great. It was a great blessing. Nevertheless, that Jesus, the living example, disappeared very soon, leaving a little, the small number of the footprints. But even the remaining footprints, as time went by, like the footprint of the seashore, when waves of the ocean comes and goes, the footprint gradually disappears. We don't know what kind of course did Jesus walk. There's the one footprint of Jesus here remain. Oh, yeah, Jesus must have been here at least. Then found another one here. Oh, then another one is here. Oh, so then Jesus must have walked through this way. Yeah. Maybe so. Then people, oh yeah. Then we also must go same course. Oh, let's go same course. Follow Jesus. Follow Jesus. Follow Jesus. Follow Jesus. This way. Going this way. There's the Christians. They are the Christians. Then all of a sudden, they found this one. Oh, no. Because they said, This looks like this another footprint. That's why they're going this. Then they're going this direction. Then now through the study, found something here. Hey, wait a minute. No. Jesus didn't go that way. He must come this way. Then they just ask the conflict of the opinion, and the fighting start. Some want to go this way, but some still want to go that way. This is a Jesus course. No, this is a Jesus course. And the fight began. Then this a division of Christianities between Catholic and Protestantism, or Orthodox churches, Greek Orthodox and Russian Orthodox, or Anglican churches in England. These kind of things. Then finally, they studied. Then they finally find out they thought it was a Jesus footprint, but actually it's the footprint of a dog. That's kind of mess. This Christianity divided into so many denominations and fighting against each other, because the real Jesus disappeared. A true living example disappeared on the cross. They didn't know where to go. But now, new living example appeared in front of us, right in front of us. Therefore, we don't have to be worried about this way anymore. The Messiah is heading toward Kingdom God. Heading toward Kingdom God to guide the entire human race into heaven. Then only one thing we should do is to follow him. Then hold his belt. Hold his belt. Doesn't matter, no? Then when he runs, you run. When he goes this direction, you go this direction. When he turns, you turn. That's it. But as time goes by, someone becomes so worried and anxious. Is this way okay? Is he going right? Maybe for the new movement in Russia, you don't experience these kind of things. But in in Korea or Japan, or some even America, and already a long history of this movement. Years after years, no change. How it's possible to build the kingdom of heaven with this? With this kind of situation. Then how, do you know how he do? They're holding one hand, but releasing, here, and this head is not looking at the back of the true father, true parents. Instead, they stretch his neck. Looking his own way. Is this okay? Is he going okay? This way. Holding. Is it okay? But if you are just, looking here and there, other than Messiah, the Messiah's course is not an easy course. Therefore, like, roller coaster. Roller coaster. In Moscow, roller coaster. Playground. You have. Or Space Mountain. Maybe Disneyland in America. It's crazy. But anyway, then just you'll be thrown away into the space. That's why doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Wherever the Messiah is going. Even it might be better in one sense. If you are blind, you don't see anything else. Just holding his back by his belt. Then don't release. If only you are holding with both hands, then wherever he goes, I go. Then eventually he goes into kingdom heaven, then you'll be there together with him. This is the attitude of attendance. This is attendance. This is the attitude of attendance. To hold his belt and never let it go. Never let it go. Even wind comes, snow comes, a blizzard comes, even tornado comes. Whatever it may come, you never let it go. That should be the attitude of attendance. In other words, the attendance means actually, to plainly speaking, to live together. To live together with true parents. To live together with true parents. In other words, it's togetherness. Togetherness. Then what are the relations between true parents are? True parents are true parents. Then we are the children. Therefore, togetherness between parent and children. Therefore, to attend true parents means to live together with true parents as their children. Therefore, parents and children, this means family. To live as one family. That's a fundamental attitude of attendance. Then how do the family live together? First of all, under the same roof. But if so, and actually, even Father mentioned that if you're blessed, you should be living together with true parents at least 3 years. But actually, physically it is impossible. Then how do you think? How should we do? Because how many blessed family in Russia now? Blessed family. How many blessed family in Russia? You don't know? 500 blessed family? Huh? including PMC breast family. 5,000? Then this means 10,000 people. 10,000 people? Is it right? Between 6 to 10,000. Okay, even 8,000 in between. Okay, 8,000. Do you think altogether go to the East Garden to New York? Live together 3 years? What happens? What a mess. Or if you go to South America, there's no house to live. All 8,000 must be living outside. It's impossible. Then how should we do? Then instead of 8,000 people going to South America, then your center or your church or even your house should be the extension of East Garden. Think this way. Okay, this is the East Garden. Then you can stretch this way. Then make many rooms here. This is a headquarter church in Moscow. This is the church in St. Petersburg. This is some church, and also this is an individual home. And the headquarters or St. Petersburg church, or whatever church or your own residence, could be the extension of East Garden. Now, this is where true parents are living. This should be the concept. You can expand East Garden to your home, to your house. Then the concept will be like this. Your house is a part of the East Garden. Is something wrong? Machine? A battery. Then headquarters in Moscow or church in St. Petersburg and some other places or some other CIS countries, and or your own home could be the extension or expansion of the East Garden where true parents are living. In other words, your center, your church, or your house is where true parents are living together with you. This is the concept. This is the reason, even in this place you put a true parent picture. It's symbolic presence of true parents. When you have you have meal, that time, do you offer the meal to true parents picture? Do you do that? And should be doing that way. When you offer the meals and not leftover. Don't offer your leftover. The first one, first part of your meal should be offered to true parents. Little bit, just symbolic. And after finishing, you can also take back, and if there's some guest, the family guest, you can offer this to your family guest. And if outside guests who don't know anything, you don't have to do. But anyway, then also, otherwise you can also receive, from the true parents. Sometimes actually, father really does this so many times. Actually, when we are eating lunch or dinner or breakfast together with father, then the father gives his own food to the leaders, members around him. And the dish goes around and pick up small pieces one by one, and have the lunch, meal together with father's meal. Father's meal, sometimes, sometimes fruit, sometimes something, not pancake, but whatever father gives, we receive and eat. There's a togetherness with true parents. That way, this is how, even true parents are not substantially here, you can live together with true parents. Then if you feel the presence of true parents behind you, do you think can you do something evil? Can you do something what you cannot do in the presence of true parents? Can you, if you have a real feeling of presence of true parents around you, can you do something which you cannot do in front of true parents? Can you do that? No. If so, if you have that one feeling of togetherness with true parents, you'll never do anything which your conscience doesn't agree. Conscience doesn't agree. You'll follow the conscience, which is God, living, a small God that is living in you. Then your life will be right or wrong. There will be no mistake in your life. Therefore, in this sense, that if you have the real feeling of the presence of true parents with you, in other words, if you have real attitude of attendance or a feeling of attendance, then your life, there will be no mistake in your life. You cannot do anything wrong. You cannot do anything, shameful. Therefore, if only we can develop the attitude of attendance, then you'll be right always. Sometimes when you came out, sometimes you are from your center to this workshop, you left your room or center behind. Then do you think if Father comes here, Father, please come to my room, can you invite him in? If Father is coming in, how do you do? Father, just wait a little bit. I must fix. Isn't that the real situation? This means we are not attending in true sense. No understanding, no feeling of attendance. That's why attendance, Then if father is watching from behind, true parents are watching, not the scary way, but with warm and embracing eye. Then do you think you can do your mission more or less? You can do much more. If no one is watching, you don't do anything strange. Because always true parents are with you. This should be the attitude of attendance. Then when you are driving car, the MFT or whatever, then the leader says, oh, clean up, always. But if true parents are coming in your van or a car, do you clean or not? Do you clean up or not? Surely you clean up a lot. That should be the attitude of attendance. Therefore, if you have the real attitude of attendance, actually almost you don't need the leaders. You don't need central figures, because your conscience will be the best central figure who guide you right way, right direction, towards the right direction. Therefore, that concept of attendance is so precious. If only we have the concept of attendance, we can live the right way of life. Actually, when I was living in New York and the nearby the East Garden, occasionally a father visited our house. No information in advance. He comes all of a sudden. But nevertheless, if father comes to some house, we have very good network of information. All of a sudden, the information goes around. Then we begin to fix, clean and fix the house. One time, I wasn't there, but my wife was there, and she got information and cleaned up, so desperately. Then, now father came in, and he looked, and said, "Are you keeping this house this clean always?" Then the house next door to my house, because they are out for fundraising, selling roses, and that's why no information was given. Then they came back and still with a lot of flowers, leftover flowers, and counting money. Then the father came in. Hey, what are you doing? And that kind of thing happened. This means actually the attitude of attendance, if we really understand attendance, the real feeling of the presence of true parents, togetherness with true parents, that's the meaning of the attendance. Okay? Then, if so, living under the same roof, and also to live with parents means actually to eat together, and talk together, and many other things. Therefore, actually, as I said, the offering of food means means eating together with true parents. And may not have so many chances to talk with father, especially it's very difficult to talk with father personally. But even when the father comes in public, speaks in public, sometimes father's talk becomes long. Father talks long time, as you know, many, many hours, because father feels there will be no other chance. That's why when he feels that way, he doesn't matter. He can think of time. Doesn't matter 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, or he forgets meals. He even don't know where he is. Just he really wants to give all he has to these loving sons and daughters, because there will be no other chance. That's a reason father talks and talks and talks, forgetting himself completely. But that relation experience with true parents must be so precious. The father's message must have been recorded, and in the future will become Bible, part of the Bible. Don't you think so? How do you think if at the time of Jesus there's only one tape recorders? What's the difference? Bible could have become this thick. How do you think? If there was only one tape recorder at that time. But now we have tape recorders or videos and cameras, everything we can record. That's why in the future that Bible will be so big. But among us, some people heard from Father directly from a long time. How many hours? You said 7 hours? 7 hours? Here in Russia? Ukraine. 7 hours? Then if so, that speech will become Bible, part of the Bible. Might be printed and beautifully decorated, like a Russian Orthodox Bible in the museum, in the Kremlin Museum. But now, if at that time, who attended that meeting? Yeah, some people. At that time, surely you took note. But sometimes, when the father's speech becomes longer and longer, you are writing so desperately. It's good. But gradually, become like that. Become like that. After 3 years, 3 hours or something. Then finally, it's like this. Do you know what this? How to think? At the time of Jesus, no, we have Bible, but at the time of Jesus, is one of the disciples took note. If that note remained now, which do you think is more precious? Beautiful Bible in the museum, or that terrible note? Which is more precious? That's why the note you took in that meeting with Father must be much more precious, tens of 100 times more precious than the future beautiful Bibles. Do you understand? That's why that being together with true parents is so precious, especially if it's not, if it's in case it is direct. It's so precious. That's why you are living in such a precious time. In such a precious time. The connection, the relationship, living relationship with true parents are so precious that this second chance will never come back. In the past, millions of people are waiting for this moment, thousands of years, but time never came. And in the future, the people will remember or study through history about true parents, but they will have no chance to see true parents anymore. The contemporary person, people who, and even the contemporary people, most people don't know anything, what's happening now. That's why you are really chosen and handpicked to be able to see true father, true mother. What a blessing. Actually, at one time, it was 1970, I think, right after the 7 blessing, there's a couple of people went to visit father's room, and the father was talking a lot. Then all of a sudden, father stopped and meditating just maybe couple of seconds. Then he mentioned to us, "Hey, you, now you are listening to my speech, to my speech, with the big mouth open." Oh, like that. But you don't know how, rare and precious moment you are having in the history. Think, in the vast desert, only one dew drop falls from heaven. The first couple of granules of sand upon which the very dewdrop falls are you. Do you follow? Do you follow?広大な砂漠の中でたった一滴のAnd you don't have to translate, okay? You can translate. たった一滴の露が天から落ちてきたときに、その露に濡れる最初の2粒3粒のその砂の粒、それが君たちなんだよって。I'm just talking for Japanese brothers and sisters. That's you. Anyway. But of course, it's good to have to live together under the same roof, eating together, talking together. But if you can, when father, true parents carrying the heavy cross. If you can share that heavy cross and lessen the burden of true parents, how wonderful it will be. In the past, many Christians wanted to do so, but they couldn't do that because the Messiah wasn't here. In the future, many people want to do so, will want to do so, but they are too late. They will be too late. Already things finished. But now, we're the only people in this world who can share the burdens and sufferings on the cross of true parents and lessen their burdens. How wonderful this moment will be. This is the value of the life of attendance. To live together, not only living together, but also working together, or the sharing the suffering together with true parents. This is the meaning of the age of attendance. Therefore, whatever mission you may be doing, even cutting the beets, I said yesterday, either sharing the burden together with true parents, or taking or lessening the burden of true parents so that they can take even little rest. This is the meaning of the attendance. Therefore, whatever mission you may be doing, you are attending true parents in this meaning. This is the real age of attendance. That's why if you can develop this understanding deeply in your heart and make pattern of your way of thinking, then your attitude of attendance will grow. And you can become so close to true parents without being together with true parents physically. Then now, true parents and the children, other children, we are children, are living together. Then so the parents gives us the love, the parental love, and we offer the filial. The filial. F-I-L-I-E-L. Filial love, this is our children's love. This is how we can live together. By the connection of love from parental love and filial love. Then, this is actually, in one sense, this is also inheritance. The loving and receiving love is not just, of course, about this issue we have discussed more, but by being together with true parents, we can inherit a lot of things, true way of life, God's way of life, and we can inherit from true parents the true way of life or God's way of life. Then what could be the contents of inheritance? Inheritance. Of course, there must be the truth. We can inherit the truth of God from true parents. That's, as you know, of course, it's a divine principle. Divine principle, or the your father's words, then say sometimes like this, the internal guidance. What I'm talking here, basically what Father has been talking, here and there occasionally. Of course, I put many examples, but the essence is from Father. Then internal guidance, also providence, providential contents. These messages are necessary. What is trouble messiahship? What is age of attendance? No. What is the meaning of the complete testament age? Why? The providence of the providence of the South America. All kinds of providence, new providences. The restoration of kingships, what now Father is doing, what does it mean? A lot of things we must understand. What is Father's desire for Russia? This kind of thing you have clear understanding. Otherwise, by understanding the truth of God, you can understand God's will this way. This then nothing comes from other place. That's why only through true parents we can really understand these contents. Therefore, we are through this kind of workshop, we are inherited the content of true parents, so that we can live in line with the truth of God. But in one sense, more importantly, very difficult but also very precious thing that we should inherit from true parents is the way of loving. How to love. It is very important and also very difficult. Then we can understand or inherit the way of loving of God. How to love God. We say, we love God, we love God. What does it mean? The 66 volume of Bible, if you read through, then if you are asked one question, what is love of God? How to love God? Can you answer? After reading the 66 volume of Bible, can you say, if a question is asked, now did you understand how to love God? Can you give answer? Very difficult. Even after studying a divine principle book. How many? Now under translation. Huh? After the studying divine principle lecture, if you ask, now, did you understand how to love God? Can you answer? It's not so easy. Do you know why? Truth is truth, not living example. Therefore, how wonderful truth may be, without living example of loving God, it's very difficult to understand how to love God. There's one story here. This is a testimony of a true father. In 1980s, father was always going out to the ocean. Of course, even actually 2 years ago, the 20 years special mission of father to go to the ocean finished. But especially in the 80s, father was going to the ocean, to the Atlantic Ocean, nearby the Boston, New York, Boston in America. In the beginning, father started maybe 7 o'clock in the morning and came back 5 o'clock, but gradually started at 6 o'clock and came back 9, 10 o'clock, something like that, you know. Then finally father was waking up 3 o'clock in the morning and never went to the bed until midnight. At most 3 hours. Then it is so difficult to follow father. That's why many leaders, they try to escape from father's call, because so difficult to stay on the ocean all day long, sometimes without any catch. But father continued. Actually, father himself totally tired, completely wiped out, actually, tired. Still, father always going. Also, for mother, it wasn't so easy to follow father, because mother had so many children. That's why mother's body is not strong anymore. Then one day, a father woke up at 3 o'clock, also mother too. And the mother went to a restroom. In the restroom, mother heard a big noise from the bedroom. Mother jumped out of the restroom and went back to the bedroom. Then the father was breathing here. Because father woke up, but the father was so tired. He lost almost consciousness and fell down and hit the head, forehead, upon the corner of the bedpost. That's the reason father was breathing so badly. The mother was so shocked and asked father, "Father, please take rest today. Even though you don't go out to the ocean today, who will accuse you? Who will blame you? No one, not one. That's why please take rest." Do you know what was their father's answer? Father said, "No, I can't. Because I had an appointment with Heavenly Father to see Him on the ocean 4 a.m. Heavenly Father is waiting for me. That's why I cannot let Him wait alone. I can't let Him wait for me alone. And breathing, no? Still breathing, but he prepared and went to the ocean to see Heavenly Father at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why, for instance, don't be late to the pledge. Don't let prayer service 5 o'clock. Don't be late. Then I had one workshop with 2 children. And aging him was a person in church. I was a lecturer. And one American brother was the coordinator. And 2 weeks session, 3 week session, workshop. Maybe 4 of the 2 children joined. Maybe another 20 breast children joined. That time, Ajinim is a person in church, and Unjinim and Hunjinim, who went into spirit world, and one more, I don't remember exactly, but joined that workshop. Then I was going to the holy ground every night to pray as a condition. Then, but one night I was so tired. Then, oh yeah, I have to go. But finally, I just fell asleep. And next morning I woke, I forgot. And ran to the holy ground and began to pray. Then all of a sudden, this testimony dawned on me. Oh no, Father, even bleeding, because he made appointment with God, 4 o'clock in the morning on the ocean, he went. But I made promise to see every night, but I didn't come. Then God must have been waiting for me overnight while I was sleeping. I felt so bad. What a difference. Then until that time, my concept of a condition, prayer condition, was like this. If I fulfill the prayer condition, blessing will come to me. Good blessing will come, good thing will happen to me. That's why I fulfill the promise of the condition. But I should continue. I shouldn't miss. Because if I failed, Satan will take over, will invade me. Satan will attack me. That's why I shouldn't fail in fulfilling the condition. That's what was my concept of prayer condition. But since that time, my understanding changed. Not because I can get great blessing, or not because Satan might attack me, but because I cannot let God wait for me in vain. That's why I have to go to see God, to pray to God. This experience changed my understanding of the conditions, especially prayer conditions. This means by seeing the Father's example, living example of how to love. Now I was able to inherit His way of loving God, even if it's just a little bit. This is the meaning of inheritance. Even you read the Bible, even you read divine principle, it's very difficult to understand how to love God. But by seeing this kind of example of true Father, we can understand exactly what does it mean to love God. Do you agree? That's why the living example of loving Heavenly Father is this precious. You can't get such a content from Bible, even from the divine principle. That's why the fact we have true parents with us is this wonderful, this precious. Then how to love spouse. Okay, and then break. Thank you.